In the book of Genesis, we find one of the most intriguing and sobering stories in the Bible. A story of family, choices, grace, mercy, and judgment. It's the story of Abraham and Lot, two men joined by blood but separated by destiny. One walked by faith, the other walked by sight, and their paths eventually led to the infamous cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, cities whose cries of wickedness reached the heavens. Today, let's journey through their story. Let's walk through the deserts with Abraham, stand at the edge of Sodom with Lot, and witness divine mercy and righteous judgment unfold. Our story begins in Genesis 12, when God called Abram, later named Abraham, to leave his country, his family, and his father's house. God made him a promise. I will make you a great nation, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Abraham obeyed, and Lot, his nephew, went with him. Lot was the son of Haran, Abraham's deceased brother. Since Lot's father had died, Abraham had likely taken a fatherly role in his life. Lot trusted his uncle, followed him, and prospered alongside him. Together they traveled from Ur of the Chaldeans to Haran, then down into Canaan, the land that God had promised to Abraham and his descendants. Their bond was close, and their journey shared. But with blessing came growth, and with growth came tension. By Genesis 13, both Abraham and Lot had become wealthy, rich in livestock, silver, gold, and servants. The land could no longer support them both. Quarrels began to rise between their herdsmen. Abraham, the elder and the peacemaker, said to Lot, "Please let there be no strife between you and me. Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, then I will go to the right." It was a noble offer. Abraham gave Lot first choice, a generous act that showed both humility and trust in God. Lot lifted his eyes and looked toward the plain of Jordan. It was lush, green, and well-watered, like the garden of the Lord. But there was a problem. But the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord. Still, Lot chose the land near Sodom, setting up his tents toward the city. Eventually, he moved into Sodom, becoming a resident and even a man of influence at its gates. Lot made a choice based on what he could see: fertile land, prosperity, opportunity. But he overlooked the spiritual danger. He placed his family near wickedness, and slowly that wickedness began to seep in. Meanwhile, after Lot left, God reaffirmed his promise to Abraham. "Lift your eyes. All the land which you see I give to you and your descendants forever." God honored Abraham's faith, even in the midst of separation. In Genesis 14, war broke out. A group of kings attacked the cities of the plain, Sodom and Gomorrah among them, and took Lot and his household captive. When Abraham heard this, he didn't hesitate. Though separated, he still loved Lot. Abraham gathered 318 trained servants and pursued the enemy. He attacked by night, rescued Lot, and brought back all the goods and people. This moment shows Abraham's courage and loyalty. He could have said, Lot made his choice. He put himself in danger. But he didn't. He acted with compassion, risking his own safety for his nephew. Lot was rescued, but did he leave Sodom? No, he returned. Sometimes even after a wake-up call, people go back to what's familiar, even if it's dangerous. By Genesis 18, God appeared to Abraham again. This time he came with a message. Sodom's sin had reached heaven. The Lord said, "Because the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grave." God had come to investigate, but before he acted, he told his friend Abraham. And Abraham interceded. He asked, "Would you also destroy the righteous with the wicked?" He pleaded for mercy. What if there are 50 righteous, 45, 40, 30, 20, 10? God answered each time, "I will not destroy it for the sake of 50, 45, 40, 30, 20, 10. This intercession reveals two things: Abraham's compassion, especially for Lot, and God's patience. God was willing to spare the entire city for just 10 righteous people. But the tragedy? Not even 10 could be found. In Genesis 19, 2 angels arrived in Sodom. Lot saw them and insisted they stay at his home. That evening, something horrific happened. The men of the city surrounded the house and called to Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us that we may know them carnally." The wickedness of Sodom was blatant and aggressive. Lot tried to protect his guests, even offering his daughters instead, a disturbing reflection of how much Sodom had influenced him. The angels intervened. They struck the men with blindness and warned Lot, "Have you anyone else here? We will destroy this place." Lot hesitated. Even knowing destruction was near, he struggled to leave. So the angels took him by the hand, him, his wife, and his 2 daughters, and led them out. As they fled, they were told, "Do not look behind you nor stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you be destroyed." But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. She looked back, not just with her eyes, but with her heart. Her ties to Sodom, her longing for what was behind, cost her everything. Then it happened. The Lord rained brimstone and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah. He overthrew those cities, all the plain, all the inhabitants, and what grew on the ground. The cities were gone. The smoke rose like a furnace. Judgment had come. Lot fled to a cave with his daughters. His story ends in tragedy, fearful, isolated, and morally compromised. His daughters, believing they were the last people on earth, made a desperate, sinful decision to preserve their family line. Their descendants, Moab and Ammon, would become nations, but Lot's story remains a cautionary tale. In contrast, Abraham stood on a hill, looking out over the destruction. He had interceded. He had trusted. And though the cities fell, his relationship with God remained unshaken. The story of Abraham and Lot speaks to choices. Lot chose with his eyes. Abraham chose with faith. Lot moved toward Sodom. Abraham moved toward God. Lot compromised slowly. Abraham built altars and sought God's voice. Lot hesitated when salvation was at the door. Abraham interceded, standing in the gap. And yet, God still showed mercy to Lot. He rescued him not because of Lot's righteousness, but because of Abraham's prayers and God's compassion. As 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 7 tells us, God delivered righteous Lot, who was oppressed by the filthy conduct of the wicked. It's a reminder that even in darkness, God hears and rescues the weary. But the warning remains. Don't linger near Sodom. Don't look back. Choose faith. Choose obedience. Thank you for joining this journey through the lives of Lot and Abraham. May their story remind us of the importance of our choices, the power of intercession, and the unfailing justice and mercy of God. Until next time, keep walking in faith, and keep your eyes on the promise, not the plains.